Welcome back, everyone. You're watching the channel where we simplify the complex, decode the technical, and make risk management look cool. If you're preparing for CRISC, or just want to actually understand the risks your IT team keeps talking about, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into CRISC Domain 4, and specifically, we're talking about something everyone hears about, but few truly get: encryption. Now hold up. Before you yawn and click away thinking, oh, I already know what encryption is. Do you really? Because understanding encryption in the context of enterprise risk isn't just about knowing how AES works. It's about understanding why, where, and how to implement it strategically. Miss that, and congratulations, you've just opened a backdoor for attackers and audit failures. Part 1. We will discuss about Introduction to Encryption. Let's start at the beginning. Encryption, at its core, is just a way to protect data from unauthorized access. Think of it as turning your private diary into a secret language that only you or someone with the right key can read. But here's the twist. CRISC wants you to look at encryption not as a tech feature, but as a risk control. You're not securing data just for fun. You're doing it to reduce business risk. Next, that is part 2, benefits of data encryption. So why encrypt? Simple: confidentiality, integrity, compliance. Whether it's a customer's credit card number or your company's internal emails, encryption keeps the bad guys out and the regulators happy. Data at rest? Encrypt it. Data in transit? Encrypt that too. Backups? Better believe it. Because if you're not encrypting your sensitive data, you're basically inviting a breach and possibly a lawsuit. Part 3. We will discuss about forms of encryption. Now, not all encryption is created equal. We've got two big players here: symmetric and asymmetric encryption. Symmetric means one key is used to both encrypt and decrypt. It's fast, efficient, and used for bulk data. Asymmetric? That's where you have a public key and a private key. A bit slower, but way more secure for tasks like digital signatures and secure key exchanges. CRISC wants you to understand where each form fits, because using the wrong one, that's a risk. And we're not in the business of adding risk. In part 4, we will look into symmetric key cryptography. Symmetric key cryptography is like using a single key to lock and unlock a door. It's fast, easy to implement, and ideal for encrypting large volumes of data. Think AES, DES, triple DES. These are the real MVPs in symmetric encryption. But here's the thing, both the sender and receiver need to have the same key, and protecting that key becomes a massive responsibility. And you already know, if that key falls into the wrong hands, it's game over. Lastly, we will discuss about part, that is, disadvantages of symmetric key encryption. Let's be honest, symmetric encryption, while powerful, isn't perfect. The biggest headache? Key distribution. How do you safely share the key with someone without exposing it? Also, no built-in method to prove identity. Anyone with the key can decrypt the data, which means no authentication. In a CRISC exam, or in real life, these are critical limitations you have to be aware of when recommending encryption strategies. Let's get straight to it. What is encryption? Encryption is a mathematical technique used to transform readable data, also known as plaintext, into unreadable gibberish known as ciphertext. It's not magic. It's pure math, designed to make sure that even if someone gets your data, they can't understand it. Plaintext in, ciphertext out. Simple. Moving next, let us understand, so how does encryption actually work? Once data is encrypted, the only way to turn it back into something readable is by using the right key. No key? No access. Period. Now, why do we even use it? Because encryption's main job is simple: keep your data secret and safe. It makes sure that even if someone gets their hands on your data, they can't read a single word of it. No key, no secrets. That's the power of encryption. Before moving ahead, let's clear up some key terms. Because yes, they sound similar, but they're not the same. Cryptography is the science of creating encryption methods. It's all about designing the locks that keep data secure. Cryptology is the bigger field. It includes both making those locks and breaking them. It's the full game of creating and solving cryptographic puzzles. One builds the code. The other understands the code and how to crack it. Moving next, let's talk benefits. Because encryption isn't just a fancy security tool, it's a risk management powerhouse. The biggest one? Confidentiality. Encryption ensures that data stays unreadable to anyone who's not authorized. Hackers, insiders, eavesdroppers, doesn't matter. If they don't have the key, they get nothing but scrambled nonsense. That's how you protect sensitive info, and that's how you reduce risk. Next up, integrity. Encryption doesn't just keep data secret. It also helps ensure it hasn't been tampered with. If someone tries to alter encrypted data without the right key or method, it gets corrupted or fails to decrypt properly. That's your early warning system. Bottom line, encryption helps prevent unauthorized changes. And that means your data stays exactly the way it was meant to be. And now, non-repudiation. Sounds complex, but it's simple. It means proof. Encryption can be used to confirm who sent the data, so the sender can't deny it later. It's like a digital signature, locked in, verifiable, and undeniable. In risk terms, that's accountability. And accountability is everything. Moving on to next, let's talk access control and authentication. Dosto, encryption isn't just about locking data. It's about controlling who holds the key. It helps manage who gets access and verifies who they are before unlocking anything. Only the right person with the right credentials gets through. Everyone else? Blocked. That's security with precision. So now that we know what encryption does, let's talk about how it's actually done. There are two main forms of encryption, and understanding the difference is crucial for both your exam and real-world risk decisions. First up, symmetric encryption. It uses the same key to both lock and unlock the data. Fast, efficient, but you've got to keep that key super secure. Then there's asymmetric encryption. This one uses two different keys, a public key to encrypt and a private key to decrypt. Slower, but more secure, especially for things like digital signatures and secure communication. Alright, let's move on to strengths and weaknesses of encryption types. So we've got symmetric and asymmetric encryption on the table. Now let's break down the real-world part, strengths and weaknesses. Each type comes with its own pros and cons. Symmetric is fast and great for large data. But key sharing? That's tricky. Asymmetric is secure for communication, but slower and more resource-heavy. And here's the key takeaway. You don't have to pick just one. In fact, most secure systems use both, depending on the situation. That's not just smart, that's strategic risk management. Let's zoom in on the rockstar of symmetric encryption, AES. It stands for Advanced Encryption Standard. And if you worked in cybersecurity, you've definitely heard this name. Why is it so popular? Because AES is fast, secure, and trusted worldwide. It's the go-to for encrypting everything from files and databases to entire hard drives. When people say strong encryption, 9 times out of 10, they're talking about AES. Moving next, let us discuss about AES details. Why it's so widely used, lets us look at breakdown why AES is the gold standard in symmetric encryption. First, key sizes. AES supports keys from 128 bits to 256 bits. That means stronger encryption the bigger you go. But it's not just theory, AES is everywhere. It secures file transfers. It protects digital content. And it's the backbone of VPNs, keeping your internet connection private and encrypted. Bottom line, if data is being protected, AES is probably behind it. Moving next, let us talk about symmetric key cryptography. Key length matters. Let's talk about something that makes or breaks your encryption, key length. In symmetric encryption, the length of the key directly affects security. Shorter keys? Easier to crack. A simple brute force attack can break weak keys in no time. The longer the key, the harder it is to guess, and the more computing power an attacker would need. So if you're still using 56-bit keys in 2025, you're basically inviting hackers in with coffee and snacks. Next, we will talk about common symmetric key algorithms. When we talk about symmetric key cryptography, one name stands above the rest: AES. Advanced Encryption Standard isn't just popular, it's the industry standard. It's fast, it's secure, and it's used across everything from banking systems to military-grade encryption. So if there's one symmetric algorithm you need to remember, it's AES. Moving next. Alright, let's talk about a major hurdle: key delivery challenges. Delivering keys securely is no walk in the park, especially in environments where you can't fully trust everyone involved. Even if your encryption algorithm is bulletproof, if the key lands in the wrong hands, it's all for nothing. Securing the key distribution channel is just as critical as choosing the right algorithm. Otherwise, you've just built the perfect lock on a door that's already wide open. Lastly, we will talk about key management, the backbone of encryption security. Dosto, encryption isn't just about having a strong algorithm, it's about how well you manage the keys. Because even the strongest encryption can be compromised if your key management system is weak. Where are the keys stored? Who has access? How often are they rotated? These are the questions that matter. Strong encryption plus poor key management is equal to false sense of security. And in risk management, that's a disaster waiting to happen. Moving ahead, let's discuss the last part of this video, in which we will discuss about disadvantages of symmetric key cryptography. Let's discuss the first part, the key distribution problem. Since both parties use the same key, that key needs to be shared, but shared securely. And that's where things get tricky, especially in networks with untrusted users. You're basically trying to hand over a house key without anyone else seeing it. One slip, one interception, and the entire system is compromised. Moving next, let's talk about another disadvantage, that is no authentication. Here's the issue. When everyone uses the same key, there's no way to tell who actually sent the message. Anyone with the key can encrypt, decrypt, and pretend to be someone they're not. That's a major gap, especially in environments where trust and identity matter. This is exactly why symmetric encryption is often paired with other methods, to add that layer of authentication it lacks on its own. Moving last. And here's the last headache: key explosion. In symmetric encryption, every pair of users needs a unique key. That means the more users you add, the more keys you have to manage. It doesn't grow slowly, it grows exponentially. 5 users, 10 keys. 10 users, 45 keys. 100 users, you're now managing 4,950 keys. It's not just a math problem, it's a logistical nightmare. So, dosto, that's it for today's session on symmetric key cryptography. Hope this made the concept crystal clear for you. A big thank you to all our viewers for staying with us till the end. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for regular updates and simplified breakdowns of complex topics. More crisp content is coming your way. So stay tuned, stay connected, and as always, stay sharp.